They put their team together, they got men hunting, Stephen Cassidy Moloba to kill him. Because that boy is a bomb assassin. Every damn killing you did for the president, they're ready to expose it. And let me just tell you something, the opposition got all your clip. All the place you got your weapon hiding, we know it already. But because we don't want the people to rise against you, that's why we tell all it. That's why the leader said no, don't put it out there. Because if that way I ain't give a fuck. I'm going to expose you, Joshua. Every day we sign in Ghana in a hotel with Winston Tottenham, I got all copies of the document. So I told you, I was in the CDC as acting CRO for the Women League. That means I was a person for the women. So every damn fucking shit you did, I got copy of those documents. Whoa! Okay? And you know I don't joke. When I talk my things, I don't talk. I talk it, I mean it. That's why I call the press attention to listen to what I want to say. Javante Koji is a stone cold killer. Javante Koji was a son with my cousin Chucky Taylor. Javante Koji was the one who murdered the mulatto girl that born in the baby for
we have in morning, this afternoon. My friend and brother. But what is the name? Tell me, who are you?
Thank you. My name is Abbas Mark Biati. I'm the national coordinator for the Friends of Samuka. Now the senator-elect. I was responsible for the coordination, the consultation, and the subsequent management of the campaign that led to the election of Senator-elect Brownie Samuka. As a matter of fact, I was a president of the Lofa University Student Association and first vice president of the Lofa University Student Union at the University of Liberia before I graduated 2017. And we led the campaign process, and subsequently I was selected as the national coordinator for the movement that led to the elections of Senator-elect now Brownie Samuka.
What happened involved with Honorable Brownie, the Senator-elect Honorable Brownie Samuka, that caused the National Election Commission to not certificate? What is it?
Well, we have two fundamental issues here. We have, first, there was a criminal case against Mr. Samuka, which was adjudicated, and there was a punishment for that criminal case. And the second issue was there were people who raised issues of election irregularities, and that matter also was ruled on by the National Elections Commission in favor of Mr. Samuka. So there were two issues here. Mr. Samuka was indicted in October for misapplication of public fund, the AFL pension fund, along with two of his colleagues.
Public fund, but
yeah, I'm coming there. I just want to lay the premise for our audience.
Okay.
I'm going to be very brief in that premise. So he was indicted in October in 2019 in October, immediately when he went on the
Hello? Mr. Abbas? Hello? Yeah, you're back.
Yes. And so he made a revelation that the CDC government have been engaging him to join the CDC, but he told them he was not going to join the CDC. And so many times they did engage him, and he said, no, I was not joining the CDC. And they told him, if you don't join the CDC, we're going to indict you. Indict me for what? He said, well, the AFL pension fund that was used under your stewardship, that we have agreed to pay, we will now abandon that payment and we will indict you. And he told them, I have done nothing. You guys can go ahead to indict me. So he was indicted, and But before the indictment on the AFL pension fund, Mr. Samuka have said to the people that the AFL pension funds was used on the same AFL on the basis of reimbursement from the authorization of the then Commander-in-Chief, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And when the government of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was transitioning to the government of President George Weah, the both presidents had 2 consecutive meetings. One of the meetings were held at the homes of President George and President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, where they agreed, based on the explanation of Mr. Samuka, that this money was used on the AFL and it was authorized by President Sirleaf, and that was relayed to President Weah. The next meeting was held at the home of President Weah, where the discussion was concluded in the presence of senior AFL personnel, and both presidents agreed that yes, this money was used on the AFL, as such, it must be reimbursed. And true to the word of President George Manuel Weah, $460,000 was paid against his money. And now, after they engaged Mr. Samuka of joining the CDC, and he refused and he declined, so the only option they had was to stop the payment that they have agreed, or the commitment that they have agreed to pay. And so all we heard later on was that Mr. Samuka was indicted. He was indicted for misapplication of public fund. Now, when finally the final verdict from the Supreme Court, I'm just trying to summarize, came, we were very astonished to see Mr. Samuka found guilty of misapplication of private fund. That was a contradiction to the law, because the prosecutors did not in any time mention misapplication of private fund in the indictment. So we felt disappointed in the ruling of the Supreme Court when they went and manufactured a new indictment. So that alone sees the court system as being tampered with. So we disagreed with the court, and we said, howbeit, this is the High Court. You have ruled against us. We will pay the money. But here's the ruling. The ruling was very clear. Mr. Samuka and your colleagues, you have been found guilty of misapplication of private fund. As such, you must repay the sum of $1.14 million US, or you go to jail. But this payment is suspended. You have a 6-month suspension. So it was a suspended sentence. That means within 6 months, you and your colleagues can pay 50% of the money. Then you can now come and sit with the government to arrange as to how to pay the remaining money within 2 years. Now, this was the mandate of the Supreme Court. And we said, as citizens of Lofa County and supporters of Mr. Samuka, we are aware that this ruling is not a ruling that is in the interest of the Liberian people. There is nowhere in the world you will indict someone for something, but found them guilty for different things. It's a contradiction. So we were very disappointed in the ruling of the Supreme Court. However, since it is the final arbiter of justice, we agreed to pay the money. Now, the second aspect of the argument is that there were 2 individuals who took the complaint of Mr. Samuka who never took part in the elections, 2 voters who said there were irregularities in the elections. That issue was being ruled upon by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court mandated the National Elections Commission to proceed with the certification of Mr. Samuka. Mr. Kamara, we interest you to know that the National Elections Commission deliberately refused to certificate Mr. Samuka on grounds that they were receiving instructions from outside of their jurisdiction. So, if you observe everything that have been happening in this Mr. Samuka case, you will know that it is a total witch hunt and a selective justice intended to deny the people of Lofa County a representation. I will give you 4 instances that contradict the government, the National Elections Commission, and the Supreme Court. First, the government, through the Ministry of Justice, Serena Cephas wrote a communication to the National Elections Commission instructing them not to certificate Mr. Samuka. That was a violation of the Constitution. The National Elections Commission is an autonomous agency responsible to deal with elections matters, and they have no authority whatsoever to take instruction from anyone else besides the laws of this country. Unfortunately, the executive, through Serena Cephas, was mandating the National Elections Commission not to certificate Mr. Samuka. What was more interesting was that the Senate invited Serena Cephas, asking him, which authority under the law that granted you the permission to write the National Elections Commission? He went there and he said to the people, I wrote this communication under the instructions of my boss, who is the Attorney General, Councillor Musa Din. When Musa Din was invited to the Senate, he said to the people, I am not aware of the communication. I only saw it on Facebook. The next day, both parties was invited. This very Attorney General, who is the custodian of the law and justice system of this country, went and sat and lied on an oath. He lied on an oath that he was acknowledged of the communication. 24 hours after he said to the Senate that I was not aware of this communication, he came back somersaulting. That was another contradiction to the government through the executive. Another aspect of this was that the National Elections Commission, Article 83, is very clear that elections matters are to be adjudicated within 30 days. The National Elections Commission have gone more than 17 days, a violation of our Constitution. What Serena Cephas did was a violation of the Constitution. What Musa Din did was a violation of our Constitution. Now, the Supreme Court asked the National Elections Commission to proceed with the certification. The National Elections Commission refused to certificate Mr. Samuka as a violation of the Constitution. But then, the very Supreme Court that mandated the National Elections Commission to proceed with the certification later on accepted an unconstitutional rate of prohibition from one Simeon Freeman, who is running a Susu club he called political party. Simeon Freeman as a Simeon Freeman contested the presidential elections in Liberia, across the country. He got a total of 6,683 votes, a little over 6,000 votes. Brownie Samuka contested election in Lofa County. He won election with 20,431 votes, first time in the history of Lofa County. And you have one Simeon Freeman who have no stake in Lofa County, who have no standing in Lofa County, wrote a rate of prohibition to the justice in Chimba, who everybody knows is a sedition, who was a senator and was retired to sit on the bench of the Supreme Court, still believed that he is still a politician, granted the rate of prohibition for Simeon Freeman. Another violation of the Constitution. Here is why it's a violation of the Constitution. When the Supreme Court gave a mandate, no subordinate court, not even an individual lawyer or a judge, will come back to undo that decision of the Supreme Court. That decision must be executed before any other discussion. Unfortunately, the very Joseph Nangbe came back and signed and approved the rate of prohibition, which was another breach of our constitution. So like many persons are saying, under the leadership of George Weah, all of our laws have been violated, all. And so today, they have ganged up because they know that Brownie J. Samuka is a potential leader of this country. He's a serious leader, one of the surviving leaders of this country. They are now doing everything to ensure that they delay, because I cannot say deny, because they don't have the constitutional ground, they don't have the political will, they don't have the constitutional backing to deny Brownie Samuka for sitting. So everything they have been doing is a systematic ploy to delay Brownie J. Samuka. And everything they've been doing have been violating the constitution. Two things. Article 1 of the Constitution is very clear. All power is inherent in the people. And the people of Lofa County have voted Brownie Samuka. So no single person, no individual, not even the president, have the right or have the power to undo that decision. Article 30AB is very clear as to what qualifies an individual to be a legislator. For the Senate, he said you must be the age of 30, a Liberian citizen, must have been in a constituency where you want to contest 1 year prior to the election, and must be a taxpayer. That is a requirement. So where are these people coming from with all of this unnecessary argument, unnecessary ploy, talking about Brownie Samuka?
Get me forward here. As I learned that the farm ministry went to protest in Mr. Samuka's favor, and that was Samora Wolokoli.
Yes.
Samora Wolokoli and the current minister.
There were four subpoenas. Okay. Samora Wolokoli from the Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Defense now, Zianga, the Chief of Staff, Princey Johnson, and the Deputy Chief of Staff, Josephine. These people went and testified, and they all said, including our internal audit that was done, there was no document proving that Mr. Samuka used any of the AFL pension fund for his personal use. All of them. So it is just a misuse of power that these people are doing. The misuse of Absolutely. Truth to the word of George Weah, after the meetings with both President Weah and President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the senior officials of the AFL, and Mr. Samuka, who was then the defense minister, the both president agreed to pay this money. And true to the word of Mr. Weah, he instructed the Ministry of Finance, through the Minister of Finance, through the Deputy Minister of Finance, on Samora Wolokoli, who came and testified that $460,000 US was paid towards his AFL pension fund. It was from that directive, the Minister of Defense, Zianga was invited to confirm as to whether he received this $460,000, which he acknowledged receipt. So we see no reason absolutely why these people should continue to create problems for this country. There are fundamental issues that this government is supposed to be focusing on, the bread and butter issues, the economy. They have abandoned these issues and they are just focusing on trivial issues that have no bearing on the Liberian people. These are things that our people have reduced themselves to. And so, as citizens of Lofa County, we have sent a warning to the George Weah-led government that our seat, the seat of the people of Lofa County, cannot be occupied by no one else, only the person that was approved by the people of Lofa County. Nothing, absolutely, nothing less than that. So it was from this very backdrop that the Honorable Francis Sakila Newmalin, Representative District number 1 Foya District, was on the local radio when he was asked, and he said, we are getting rumors that a George Weah-led government
on the 15th, actually. On the 15th,
exactly. He was on the local radio station, the OKFM radio station, where he was quizzed about the position of the people of Lofa County about the certification of Mr. Samuka. And he began like this. He said to the world that I am on record for this. The citizens of Lofa County, through the constitutional means, through the legal means, went to the pool and voted Brownie Samuka among the 11 candidates. 11 candidates, Brownie Samuka was selected and voted for by the people of Lofa County. For the first time, unprecedented vote, 20,431 votes, Brownie Samuka received. A total mandate from the citizens of Lofa County. And Honorable Newmalin said, we are getting rumors. We are getting rumors that individuals in the regime want to undo the decision of the people of Lofa County. Any attempt to deny Brownie Samuka the seat that he was constitutionally voted for, the president, the vice president, down, all those seats will be vacant. That was the words of Representative Sakila Newmalin. And when that happens, we will start to discuss an interim leadership. So let's put this in perspective. Let us put Representative Sakila Newmalin's argument in perspective. Now, the law is very clear. Article 1 of our Constitution, which says, and I read, all power is inherent in the people. So if the people went to the pool and voted their leader, and because the president thinks that he has power to deny that person, that means it's a violation of the Constitution. And violating the Constitution, there is a consequence. So if you undo the decision of the people of Lofa County, that means technically all of you are illegitimate. All of you, from the president, vice president down, all of you will be technically are illegitimate. So that is the argument of Representative Sakila Newmalin. So today, he was invited by the state securities to go and explain to them what he meant by the statement he made. There was a conference organized in the office of Deputy Speaker Funati Kurfa, but later on, that conference was canceled. It was not heard. And so that's how we all left. So the country right now is under serious threat, constitutional threat. Our laws are being violated arbitrarily. With no regret. The country has been looted with no regret. Fundamental issues have been left. But this president is only focusing on people who he think are critical voices to this government.
Why do you think that this government is against Mr. Samuka?
Look, and we've heard in some of their gossip that Brownie Samuka want to be president, and they see him as a threat. They see him as an experienced and old politician who have served the United Nations. He had the international contact. He has served the government, serving as police director, served as a deputy minister for Operation Minister of Defense, served as deputy minister of state, served as minister of defense 12 years. So they see him as a threat. So he is one of the surviving leaders. He is one person that has the experience, the education, the contact, and have the people behind him. So the regime see him as a threat. So in their own gossip, they said this man want to be president. So the only way they can do is to tint him to make him look terrible in front of the people of Lofa County. Unfortunately, even when Brownie Samuka was indicted prior to election, he was overwhelmingly elected. He was overwhelmingly elected. So they see that the indictment is not also working. So now they want to use the other side to deny him constitutionally.
How far are you gone with the fundraising?
Oh yes, the fundraising we have been going on. Very well. Our people have been extremely cooperative, both in Lofa, Monrovia, and other counties, including the diaspora citizens. They have been doing. The fundraising have been doing very well, excellently well. As we speak, we just concluded our second phase of the fundraising, even though other people continue to send in their contribution through the various platforms. And so, as we speak, we have instructed the Finance Committee on the Solidarity Movement in support of Brownie Samuka to begin the consolidation of the various accounts. And as we speak, they are very busy consolidating the various accounts. By Monday, there will be a financial briefing. We'll be meeting as an executive members to tell us how much we have raised, and we inform the public as to how much we have raised, and then we'll be going to do the first deposit of George Weah money. So yes, our people are cooperating, they are supporting. Even officials of the AFL personnel are giving their own contributions. Liberians who knows Brownie Samuka are supporting this process. So everything is going on very well. Everything is going on very well.
You know, Honorable Brownie Samuka of our country. I can tell you that for sure. Honorable Brownie Samuka is as good, and he knows his work. He knows when Madam Salif as defense minister, he was the long-lasting defense minister of our time.
Yes.
He and the president entered in the regime together, and they left together.
Yes. Many days he was left in charge as acting president, even though he was a minister of defense.
So you know, the issue of Mr. Brownie Samuka, I see politics.
Look, Abraham, I tell you this. President Weah and his government are wasting their time. They are wasting their time. There is nothing you can do to Brownie Samuka. Absolutely nothing. Because he's educated, he has an international contact, he knows government, and he has the support of his people. There is nothing absolutely you can do to him. As much as you see him as a threat, but you have nothing absolutely to do to him. But look, Ibrahim, our country is in a serious mess. The country is in a serious mess. Everybody in the government wake up and speak. Everybody wake up. The country is being looted. We have a situation of $16 billion up to today was never addressed. We have an issue with the $4 billion today. It was never addressed. It went thin air. We have the issue of the $25 million that was never addressed. You have the issue with the $30 million, the stimulus package was never addressed. So fundamental issues that have never been addressed. The issue of the economy. Every day the rate. Every day you have a different rate. Civil servants are not taking pay. Every month they have a drastic reduction in their salary. The NGOs have closed. International organizations have closed. The country is totally locked down. Nothing is going on. And the leadership is not focused. They are not thinking about bringing brains that will be able to help to grow this country. But rather, they are busy attacking individuals. It is quite unfortunate. Our country is under serious threat and it needs the attention of all of you. Some of you who are in the diasporas, who are in the media outlet, you have to help to provide this information to the world. The country is not safe. The people are looting the country. The president came, he's building properties all over the place. And the citizens are languishing in abject poverty. This is totally unacceptable.
What happened the final from the Supreme Court? What happened from the Supreme Court?
So now this is a contradiction. The Supreme Court have ruled on the matter for the National Elections Commission to proceed with the certification. They never did. Because the justice in chamber, Joseph Nangbe, is a sedition, he used Simeon Freeman to write what they call a writ of prohibition, which is very unconstitutional, and he granted that writ of prohibition. He called the two parties for conference, and the two parties went for the conference, and they were mandated to do a return of the argument. Both arguments was done, and it was presented to him. So now we are waiting for the justice in chamber to rule on the matter. So that is where we are.
Because a criminal for him to go sue that entire case. The prohibition case to the Supreme Court, 8,000 was given to Mr. Freeman. But the final minister.
Simeon Freeman is not a serious person. He's on record. During President Ellen Johnson's lifetime, many days he went on the radio asking President Weah and President Sirleaf, to resign, a constitutional elected president to resign. Many days he did that. When he was taken to court, he ran away. He flew this country. He's a chicken politician. And today, this is the same Simeon Freeman that is asking the people to deny a constitutionally elected president and senator. So Simeon Freeman has no moral ground. He has no stake in Lofa County. He has nothing in this country for him to be causing chaos in this country. These people are not serious. They still think we are playing. While other countries are progressing, these people are still here joking. These people are still here joking. But what I want to say to the world is that the arbitrary violation of our laws, the violations of our laws is not only a recipe for chaos, but it is a total disgrace, a total backwardness for our country, for you to have a judiciary system that is not functioning in the interest of the people, for you to have a government that is not in the interest of the people, is a total disaster. And I can tell you, in 2023, these people will be flogged first round.
say we support interim government. We have become an embarrassment to this country. So NSS should go and harass, to arrest him. You coming to arrest Honorable Yimale for saying interim government? Interim government. That's something you scale up, President. Are you afraid of interim government? You get called back support interim government. You brought war here, we're not bringing war. You support that model, we're not supporting model. I support interim government.
So how the interim government form of model, the style?
It's the form of anything that can bring interim government.
But currently, Representative Yege Kordoba, we have a government that was elected peacefully by the citizens, and we left with about 2 years and a half before we go to election. Why are you supporting interim government? Are you trying to overthrow the government?
The Liberian people have resolved. You saw from
resolved in what way?
The Liberian people have resolved that he has become very unpopular and he is a criminal. Are you not aware that Ambassador Weah is a criminal? Ambassador Weah is a criminal.
We are not aware.
But how you be aware? You cannot come in the issue. How you be aware?
What's the issue you have?
You have to do it one by one now. From look at your beer, you get it very complex.
Let's speak to the issue.
Let me tell you something today. Any attempt for Ambassador Weah to act stupid in the country, he will feel the weight. Any attempt for Ambassador Weah to act very stupid in the country, he will feel the weight.
What about your statement your statement that you support interim government has a propensity of derailing the peace?
I'm not saying bring war, Ambassador Weah brought war. I'm saying I support interim government. So what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
So what's your take about the questioning of Mo Ali and the representative?
No, they're wasting their time.
What do you
People wasting their time. People wasting their time.
How?
Look, that's a serious issue. Right now, President Criminal, we should be investigating Sabra Wolo Kwadi for taking the Bronco resources and bringing the president. No, the president is just very dull, nothing ahead. President, we ain't got nothing here. He had empty cartoons.
Mo made a statement that is being seen as a national security threat.
What you call national security? President, we are still in the Bronco money to go enjoy that national security. You see the form and manner in which he carrying the government. Send the king from the trip. You see gas price going up. You see the gas price going up.
Is this how you want to approach the issue as an opposition representative?
We're approaching any kind of way. We're approaching. When the poor trading casket and all, we're approaching the issue of Maraseli.
Are you comparing yourself to the days of the CDC?
No, I'm just making reference. I'm just making.
But you are behaving like what you referencing.
I can behave anyway because the man's stupid. The man's a dog, very stupid. So I can behave anyway.
You are abusing the president of the country. How will you feel when you are insulted?
The president has insulted.
No, I'm talking about you. You are insulting the president of the country, Representative Kordoba.
Based on your comment, you have been denied on occasions when I was a representative.
But I don't care. At least my president is being failed now. I'm saying Ambassador Weah is a dog. He ain't got nothing ahead. He's very stupid because he was sensible enough. He will carry on.
Can we go to the issue of the arrest?
The issue is Ambassador Weah is a criminal.
I'm not talking about doll or dog.
I said D-O-G. Dog.
Do you want a president?
Not dog.
So it's not dog.
Not dog. Now the car windshield is dog. No, I'm not saying dog. Maybe you can speak in that same D-O-G.
I speak English
Not
more than you.
D-O-L. I'm not saying dog.
If you are about to be addressed in the manner, how will you feel?
Really, Samuka,
Yeah. What's
Yes. Yes. We have a bad weather here, so experience some internet issues.
Okay.
Yes, we're back.
As I was asking you, so what do you expect for you to do when the Supreme Court pass the verdict and the verdict is not yet final?
Say that again. Sorry.
What do you plan to do when the Supreme Court come back to pass the verdict and the verdict is not yet final? What will you do?
No, I mean they have no constitutional ground to do so. They have no constitutional backing to do so, and so we expect them to do nothing of such. And there's no precedent to the effect, absolutely not. But because these people don't respect the laws of this land, An attempt to say Brownie Samuka cannot sit in that chair, no one will sit down there until the 3 years of George Weah finish, he leaves. That was very clear on it. That's the first step. There are other steps. We will take those steps based on the situations. But that's the first step. But we have no doubt absolutely that they cannot and they will never.
But yet is the case. The Supreme Court passed the verdict. Go to the National Election Commission. Go let them see the National Election Commission refused.
Yes.
What is the take?
So right now, what we're doing is, as much as we respect the rate of prohibition from the justice in chamber, we continue to respect the laws of our land. So we are again writing the Supreme Court. We are writing the Supreme Court to inform them that your mandate was not executed, and secondly, one of your judges is undermining that mandate, and then wait for their response. The response from the Supreme Court will give us a reason to respond proportionally. So we are preparing to respond to them proportionally based on the response that they will give us from our information that we'll be sending to them. We'll be writing what we call a bill of information to the Supreme Court, informing them about what the National Elections Commission is doing and what one of their judges is doing. That's what we're going to do.
But do you know that the Supreme Court is a former brother, right?
Absolutely, we are aware. But they must also know that the Constitution is bigger than all. The Constitution. The Constitution is bigger than the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court gave opinion. That's what they do. But the Constitution is an organic law. Whatever it says, that's what you do. So all of the violations that they are doing right now, the consequences are with them. The consequences are with them. So they continue to increase their own problem. And if they say we can't sleep, they too will not sleep. So, I mean, we're going to be very clear on that. A sustained political action will be at the doors of the National Elections Commission, will be at the doors of the Supreme Court until Brownie Samuka is certificated. We're very clear on that. Very clear on that.
Have you guys waiting for you guys to pay the money?
Oh, sure. Look, with everything we're doing, we are putting George Weah and his cartels on record. Like I was saying to you, the uncontrollable looting in this country, and for a Supreme Court judge to look at us and say the instruction of the president was unlawful, that means everything that Dana McGill and the rest of the ministers are doing in this country are all unlawful. Everything. So they have misapplied the $30 million, the $25 million, the $16 billion, the $4 billion. Nothing absolutely has happened. Today, they said the decision of President Salif was unlawful. As such, Brownie Samuka must pay the money back. There are three. The money will be divided among them. Brownie Samuka will be paying less than $400,000 of the money. And the citizens of Lofa County were very determined to pay this money. Very much determined, and we're going to pay it. But what we cannot compromise is the certification of our senator. That cannot be compromised. We can never compromise that. We are prepared to die, if need be, to ensure that our senator's certification is protected. The vote of the people of Lofa County is secure. We will pay the money, but we cannot negotiate the certification of our senator. We're very clear on that.
But when in case the Supreme Court come up with a verdict, and the verdict is in your favor. But you go to the National Election Commission, you are not certificated.
Then that means the National Election Commission will be closed.
But that's the same thing that the National Election Commission did.
Yes,
the Supreme Court told you, go to the National Election Commission, go to be certificated. You went there, 4 days past.
Look, Ibrahim, I can tell you this. We are law-abiding citizens. We are from Lofa County. Whatever we do, we like to ensure that the law is on our side. We have given the National Elections Commission the opportunity to have recorrect whatever mistake they have made. Any attempt for the National Elections Commission to further delay the certification, Ibrahim, there will be no work at the National Elections Commission. We shut down the National Elections Commission until Brownie Samuka is certificated. We can assure you that. We are very clear on that. We're going to the Elections Commission, and nobody will enter the compounds of the National Elections Commission. No work will go on there until Brownie Samuka is certificated. Once the decision comes from the Supreme Court.
But it is
we're very clear on that.
You never did that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We gave them the opportunity for the Liberian people to be on record, for the Liberian people to see how biased the National Elections Commissions are, for the Liberian people to see that Brownie Samuka is being witch hunt, for the Liberian people to see that the National Elections Commission is not independent. So now that the Liberian people are aware that the National Elections Commission is independent, is no more independent, everything they're doing is taking instructions from the executive, from another side. So now we have the support of the people. So that is the support we've been waiting for. And that is why we will put ourselves on record. We are writing the National Elections Commission, the Supreme Court, informing them of the violation of the laws of our land. So we'll be on record. So the day we're ready and we tell them, say, nowhere will go on at the National Elections Commission, the whole world will know that, yes, we have the right for everything that we're doing. So everything we're doing, it's not that we're afraid. We're not afraid. It's not that we don't have the manpower. We have the manpower. We have everything it takes to start the National Elections Commission from functioning right now, but we want to be on the right side of the law. That's what we want to do.
So what do you have to tell your diaspora Liberian that are in the diaspora that are from Lofa County? What you want to say to them?
Look, I want to let the world know that our country is in a serious mess. We have a serious leadership gap. If you like, you can say leadership crisis. The president is not interested in serving the people. The president is interested in serving his cronies, his family, and himself. The president is not interested in listening to the people. He's only listening to his cartel. The president is not listening to the churches. The president is not listening to the religious community. The president is not listening to our elders. The president is not listening to anybody. The country is becoming a dictatorial country. So we want to talk to our citizens in and out of Liberia to know that their country is in a mess, to know that their country is in a serious problem, and they all need their ears in Liberia.
So
they ought to pay some attention to Liberia, because what is going on now is not hectic. This is the same thing history is telling us. This is how Liberia experienced its first civil war. When people feel disenchanted and they are not being listened to, when people feel marginalized and they have not been listened to, these are rescues. The world need to pay attention to Liberia. The Constitution is no more being respected. The Constitution is being violated. Everybody in this country is on their own. And when you have a country that does not have a leadership that country is bound to fall into a serious trouble. And we are not prepared right now to go into the trouble. We are young people. We're just coming up. The war have already, the last civil war have sent our country backward. We are trying to grow. We are trying to be on par with other countries. And now we have a leadership that is not prepared to listen. It is a trouble for our country. So we are talking, we are begging, we are asking our colleagues, our citizens, our families in the diaspora to listen, to follow, and to be able to pay their quota to Liberia. To the issue of our candidate, the Honorable Brownie Samuka, he's a decent person. He's a decent person. He has served his country diligently. He has nothing. A lot of citizens who serve this country, they are in the diaspora. They decided to go back. He's here running his business. He's here helping the Liberian people. But this president have decided to target him. Brownie Samuka has businesses in this country. This government has closed in all the businesses. Only one of his business now that is functioning, that's the security firm. The rest of the businesses have been closed. When the president is targeting individual, it's not healthy for our country. So we are asking our friends, our people in the diaspora to help us pay George Weah money back so that we from Lofa County will be on record for respecting the rules of law, for respecting the Constitution, for respecting the Supreme Court. So we are asking our colleagues to help us pay this money, whatever amount you can afford to pay. Our sister Daba, who is heading the team in America, Brother Ibrahim Laluba, Brother Dr. Fomba Valisano, Bryman, Thomas Bryman Jr., all of these citizens are doing extremely well. They are there helping to make sure that we collect this money to pay back George Weah money. So we are asking our citizens to help us pay this money.
But do you know that Mr. Brandon Samuka can be able to sue the national the AFL? Do you know that Mr. Samuka can be able to sue the AFL? Do you know that?
Well, the AFL have not. The AFL did not do anything. The AFL did.
No, the AFL belonged to the country. The AFL belonged to the country, my brother.
They appeared during the trial, and they said
the AFL belonged to the country. The AFL belonged to the country. The AFL is a separate security firm.
Yes.
So the president of the country, can be able to sue Mr. Brandon Samuka. Do you know that Mr. Brandon Samuka, when they pay that money, do you know that Mr. Brandon Samuka can be able to sue the AFL? That's what I'm saying.
But what we're saying is, when we finish paying the money, the AFL become the property of Lofa County. It's no more the state. It is no more the state. AFL become the property of the people of Lofa County and all those who are supporting us.
No, it's not like that. Mr. Brandon Samuka, no, the AFL remain the property of the country. But Mr. Brandon Samuka can be able to sue the AFL.
Well, I don't think Mr. Samuka is prepared to go that route, because the AFL did not do anything. The AFL testified that Brownie Samuka has nothing to do with this money. It was an arrangement from government to government. It was a discussion from the commander-in-chief. So it had nothing to do with Mr. Samuka. Again, they too are subordinate to the commander-in-chief. So whatever the commander-in-chief says, that's what the AFL follow. So if the president today is targeting Mr. Samuka, the AFL has no power. The AFL cannot come out to say, no, Mr. President, you cannot punish this man. The AFL cannot do that. So I don't think Mr. Samuka have any intention to do such a thing. But what we can say, the AFL becomes the property of the people of Lofa County. They will no more be loyal to the state. They will be loyal to the people of Lofa County. That's all we can say.
Folks, that's Abbas. That's
absolutely
the coordinator.
Yes, they will now be loyal to us because we are taking care of them. for God's sake, imagine if, for example, the soldier who $100,000 was spent to save his life. Imagine if that was the son of the president, and the president is asking the Minister of Defense to pay such a money back from his pocket. That is total wickedness. If it was the son of the Chief Justice that Mr. Samuka spent this money on to save his life, he would never have said,
Mr. Francis Papa was denied last year for visa.
Oh yes, he was denied. These people are, look, I can tell you, that is why we don't want to get into their trouble. They know already that they have lost the confidence of the people, so they are looking for trouble to escape, to be able to not account for their stewardship. That is why they are doing all of this. So we are aware, and that's why we have been very meticulous with them. We have been very, very meticulous. These people are going to account for their stewardship. They're going to stay right here. They will not leave this country. They will account for their leadership. That's why we'll be very careful with them. They have less than two and a half years to go. So we wait. Whatever they want to do, this is our country, we will be here. Whatever they want to do, they should go ahead and do it. But they will account for their stewardship. We can assure them that. They will account for it. They will account for it. So that's why we're not bothered. We're not worried about them. We're waiting. We are waiting.
First, keep your call coming out on 215 578 or 215-824-8124. Yeah, that's Abbas. Abbas, I want for you to draw up. How long have we been doing Mr. Brandon Samuka?
Oh yes, my official interaction with Mr. Samuka was 2009. It was 2009 when we had a student forum, and he was one of our donors. That was the first time I had the opportunity to sit with him. But I officially started interacting with him from 2012 when we were on the campuses of the University of Liberia. When weekends, we meet with him to sit with him, because I mean, he's an experienced leader. He speaks to us about life. He talked to us about the country, how far they've managed to bring this country where it is today, how they went to places to represent Liberia, how they serve in various capacities to manage the affairs of the state, and coming up as young people, our responsibility to our state. So he always lectured us on those kind of discussion. So yes, I started knowing him officially 2012 when we started having serious of discussion with him.
And how long that discussion has carried?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Since we started having discussion with Brandon Samuka, another person is Professor Alari Tukwa and Dr. H. Boyman Famule. These are revolutionaries. These are progressive. These are people who have put their life to protect their country. So sitting with them have been a fountain of knowledge that we've been drinking. We have learned so much from them. I mean, they have made us to be brave. They have given us the reason to fight to protect the interests of the country. They have taught us to learn to be honest. They have taught us to learn to be brave. They have taught us to learn to respect the leadership. And so sitting with them, we have learned a lot. I can tell you that. We have learned a lot. And that has given us the opportunity today to preside over leadership, to preside over institutions, to lead our colleagues in various organizations where we have served successfully. So our interaction with Mr. Samuka have been an extraordinary one. It has been a very good time for us, so much that we have learned from him. Yes.
So you are saying that if the National Election Commission, if only the Supreme Court come out to pass you guys a verdict in your field, and the National Election Commission refuse, what did you say?
They will never do it. They won't. But if for any reason they even delay for 6 hours, we will close the National Elections Commission. We will be there. There will be no function until Brownie Samuka is certificated. We are very clear on that.
Well,
very clear on that.
You hear from Abbas. It's now that you can place the call and ask some questions. I mean, this is very, very interesting. I mean, Abbas having to be one of the men who have driven the front
of knowledge of Brownie Samuka. Yes.
You know, so I urge you now to place the call on 215 578 1050 or 215 824 8124. Take me back to Lofa.
Yes.
How does the Lofian feel that up to now their senator has not been? How does the Lofian feel? Get me the synopsis of the Lofian. How do they feel right now?
Look, Omzin, I tell you this. Just today, you know, Lofa County is entrenched with tradition. We have 6 tribes in Lofa County. We got 5 electoral districts and we got 11 administrative districts. 6 tribes, 5 electoral districts, 11 administrative districts. Now, when you leave Banga, the first group of people you meet is the Pele people in district number 5 in Salaye district. As we speak, those communities are totally downhearted. The citizens are not happy. Imagine, out of the 5 electoral districts, Brownie Samuka won 4 of the electoral districts. 4 of the electoral districts. 4. So those 4 electoral districts, as we speak, are totally downhearted. The citizens are disgruntled. They are so angry. I mean, they want to respond. They want to respond, but we continue to tell them, hold your peace. Can you imagine? To the extent, the trophy that makes us so happy.
We have a call. What is the number? Why you calling us from? No, I come in. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Thank you, sir. My name is Scott and
You hearing him?
Sure.
Okay.
If I'm hearing your caller or...
No. I was asking what Abbas is getting.
Okay. I said, Mr. Abbas, can you get me? Because I have my monitor going and I'm using my phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I see what I saying.
Too low.
Mr. Abbas, I just want to say.
Okay, much better.
This is not Lofa County. Lofa is about the Constitution being tempered. That's 1. 2, it is about infringing on the rights of the citizen. 2, of the citizen of Lofa County. It is about infringing on the rights of the citizens of Lofa County. And I will say this with you, Mr. Abbas, and the rest of the Nigerians that are listening. as a people to uphold the rights of the people, to uphold the law, the constitution of the Republic of Nigeria is going to be dangerous in 2023.
Very much.
What people are doing, they are under threat.
Yes.
If you will work, if you love the election in 2023, we will establish it. So right now, the error with 5 counts. You are on the error in 5 counts. What is people elected? People into power, and then they are saying
Are you willing? Are you willing to pay the money? Are you willing to pay the money? If you're willing to pay some payment of the money. Mm-hmm. And he was never covered, right? Okay. All right. I'll try to send you guys the link. We'll post the link, and then you can be able to make your contributions through that link. Thank you.
So we support interim government. We have become an embarrassment to this country. So NSS should go and harass, to arrest him. You coming to arrest Yimale for saying interim government? Interim government. Last Sunday you scared of president. Are you afraid of interim government? You get called back support interim government. You brought war, you will not bring in war. You support that model, will not support the model. I support interim government.
So how the interim government form of model, the style?
It's the form of anything that can bring interim government.
But currently, Representative Yege Kordoba, we have a government that was elected peacefully by the citizens, and we left with about 2 years and a half before we go to election. Why are you supporting interim government? Are you trying to overthrow the government?
The Liberian people have resolved. You saw from
resolved in what way?
The Liberian people have resolved that he has become very unpopular and you are criminal. Are you not aware that Ambassador Weah is a criminal? Ambassador Weah is a criminal.
We are not aware.
But how you be aware? You cannot come in the issue. How you be aware?
What's the issue you have?
You have to do it one by one now. From look at your beer, you get it very complex. So
Let's speak to the issue.
let me tell you something today. Any attempt for Ambassador Weah to act stupid in the country, he will feel the weight. Any attempt for Ambassador Weah to act very stupid in the country, he will feel the weight.
Your statement that you support interim government has a propensity of derailing the peace.
I'm not saying we bring war, we throw war, Ambassador Weah brought war. I'm saying I support interim government. So what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
So what's your take about the questioning of Mo Ali and the representative?
No, they're wasting their time.
What do you
People wasting their time. People wasting their time.
How?
Look, that's serious issue. Right now, President Criminal, we should be investigating Sabra Wolo Kwali for taking the Bronco resources and bringing the president. No, the president is just very dull, nothing in here. President, we ain't got nothing in here. He had empty cartoons.
Mo made a statement that is being seen as a national security threat.
What you call national security? President, we are still in the Bronco money to go enjoy that national security. You see the form and manner in which he carrying the government. Send the king from the trip. You see gas price going up. You see the gas price going up.
Is this how you want to approach the issue as an opposition representative?
We're approaching any kind of way. We're approaching. When the poor trading casket and all, we're approaching the issue of Manaseli.
Are you comparing yourself to the days of the CDC?
No, I'm just making reference. I'm just making reference.
But you are behaving like what you referencing.
I can behave anyway because the man's stupid. The man's a dog, very stupid. So I can behave anyway.
You are abusing the president of the country. How will you feel when you are insulted?
The president has insulted.
No, I'm talking about you. You are insulting the president of the country, Representative Kordoba.
Based on your comment, you have been denied answers occasion to the House of Representatives.
But I don't care. At least my president is being failed now. I'm saying Ambassador Weah is a dog. He ain't got nothing in here. He's very stupid because he was sensible enough. He will carry on.
Can we go to the issue of the arrest?
The issue is Ambassador Weah is a
I'm not
criminal.
talking about doll or dog.
I said D-O-G. Dog.
You want the president?
Not dog.
So it's not dog.
Not dog. Now the car windshield is dog. No, I'm not saying dog. Maybe you can speak in that same D-O-G.
I speak English
Not
more than you.
D-O-L. I'm not saying dog.
If you are to be addressed in a manner, how will you feel?
Costa, Bill Dog versus Henry Costa. It is not Bill Dog versus Henry Costa. It is those Liberian people that Henry Costa being falsely accusing as murderers, as thieves, and he goes with impunity. And he feels free anytime to say anything to anybody, and then nothing happened to him. I'm doing this for the Liberian people to know that nobody can sit in the comfort zone of the United States of America and endanger the lives of other people.
Okay.
I'm doing this for my daughter, Margaret, or Mawen, so that Mawen will not call me and say, Daddy, did you kill Uncle Emmanuel? Why did you do that? And I'll ask Mawen, what's your choice? She said, I heard one Henry Costa saying, you kill Uncle Emmanuel. And I would tell my daughter, they fought a decade.
You know, let me bring in Mr. Abbas.
I think I have to give my party statement because the current George, we are current government.
All right. Your party statement.
Your party statement.
Yes, but let me respond to the caller quickly. The caller is right. Everything we're doing is a way forward for 2023 and moving forward after 2023. And so whatever George Weah and the leadership are doing right now is a trial and error process. They want to test the ability of the opposition. They want to test the ability of the people of Lofa County. They want to test the ability of the civil society organizations. They want to test the ability of other stakeholders that exist in this country. Because the increased violation of our constitution is something that should bring to the attention of every good citizen. Our constitution is no more being respected. You're supposed to conduct election for 30 days. Within 30 days, you have gone for 70 days. And the National Elections Commission continue to receive complaints. The Supreme Court continue to entertain complaints. And so we want to let the public know that this is not in the interest of the state. It is not in the interest of the people. This is not about Lofa County. It is a beginning. This is an experiment that a regime is going through. An attempt for this to work. They will be deciding who be who. In 2023, there will be no election. There will be no election. It will just be a formality. So we want to encourage our people, like the brother said, we all have to stand up. We have to stand up for this country that we all cherished. We have to stand up for this country that we all have worked to get it going. We cannot sit and look at few hands of people to carry our country backward. We have to rise up to this occasion. And so today it is in the interest of Lofa County. So you think it's about Lofa? It is not about Lofa. This is about the state. It is about the constitution of the land. So I'd like to say thank you, Ibrahim, for affording us the opportunity to have come on your platform to share our thought, to share our experience on what is unfolding in Liberia, and to talk to our diaspora citizens, to do follow up with the citizens, to talk to stakeholders that George Weah can listen to, so that George Weah can understand that he is running a country, not a political party. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was my brother Abbas. You know, Abbas have been with the comrade Bernie Samuka. Abbas have been with Mr. Samuka for quite a long time now. And Abbas understands everything that this government carry on. So much ado, I will be coming on later on tonight to bring you the dramatic situation that occurred in the city today. The dramatic situation that occurred in the city today, I will bring you that later on. But this was just an impromptu. I promised Mr. Abbas that I was going to host him, and we all agreed that it was going to be Friday. The time had changed in our country. So in order for us to be on time, then because of the current situation in Monrovia, so we deemed it necessary for us to come out at the time 1 o'clock today. But thank you all for being there. Thank you all. Believe me, tonight the discussion will be tense. with what I have on my docket, trust me, the discussion will be tense, and it will not be. It will be a serious political discussion tonight. Don't miss it. Be there. Bye bye for now.
So we support interim government. We have become an embarrassment to this country. So NSS should go and harass, to arrest him. You coming to arrest Yimale for saying interim government? Interim government. Last Sunday you scared the president. Are you afraid of interim government? You get called back support interim government. You brought war, you will not bring in war. You support that model, will not support the model. I support interim government.
So how the interim government form of model, the style?
It's the form of anything that can bring interim government.
But currently, Representative Yege Korba, we have a government that was elected peacefully by the citizens, and we left with about 2 years and a half before we go to election. Why are you supporting interim government? Are you trying to overthrow the government?
The Liberian people have resolved. You saw from
resolved in what way?
The Liberian people have resolved that he has become very unpopular and you are a criminal. Are you not aware that Ambassador Weah is a criminal? Ambassador Weah is a criminal.
We are not aware.
But how you be aware? You cannot come in the issue. How you be aware?
What's the issue you have?
You have to do it one by one. Now. From look at your beer, you get it very often. So
Let's speak to the issue.
let me tell you something today. Any attempt for Ambassador Weah to act stupid in the country, he will feel the weight. Any attempt for Ambassador Weah to act very stupid in the country, he will feel the weight.
Your statement that you support interim government has a propensity of derailing the peace.
I'm not saying bring war, Ambassador Weah brought war. I'm saying I support interim government. So what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
So what's your take about the questioning of Mo Ali and the representative?
No, they're wasting their time. People wasting their time. People wasting their